So we've all experienced this kind of scenario when you're speaking to a woman. Maybe it's after you say a joke, after you say something, or after you do something, or you guys lock eyes, and you just don't know what to do. It's like you just don't know how to handle the tension. You don't know how to deal with an awkward scenario. So what ends up happening is that you're trying to resolve whatever the hell is going on. You're trying to make sure everything is all right. You're trying to deal with her comfort levels, and maybe this scenario happens right after a dude talks to her, and you're present, and you just don't know what to do with that kind of action being displayed. You know, this right here is what I call a paradox of comfort. A lot of guys believe that they have to be the one to solve every single thing. They have to solve how a girl is feeling. The girl always has to be comfortable. And I'm here to tell you that you have to be able to sit down in tension. You got to be able to actually revolve around the tension that's built. You know, I'll tell you this right now. When you're dating women, it's never supposed to be always comfortable. You're always going to be in a position where you're not going to understand. And, women love a man who can sit down in discomfort, in the tension, and actually work from it. Not a man who is eager to change everything and who's so desperate. What this shows is that you're not comfortable in your own skin. You're not confident. You've never been put in this situation before. And what does that mean? You don't have access with abundance in women. So what I'm trying to tell you this right now is that you got to be able to sit down in discomfort, the tension built. And this is another example of this. I saw something that like this, and this has also happened to me in my past. When I had less knowledge on women, less of an idea, this has happened to me. I would actually, I would go on a date with a girl, or me and her would be talking. There'll be a spark or some kind of like, something's there, for example. And I'll see everything's going great. Let's say we end up seeing each other, and then after I message her, a guy messages her, and he's just like, yo, I really enjoy spending time with you, this blah blah blah, I want to see you again, you're showing so much interest. And next thing you know it, she leaves you on scene, she leaves you undelivered, even worse. you know and you're confused because the last thing you had from your interaction with her was you guys were both on the same page. You were both enjoying each other's time. You were both enjoying each other's presence. But as soon as you go home, you shoot her this text. She's not replying in days. So then the next morning rolls along. You're clenching on your phone. You're desperate. You're like, "What's going on?" You're stressed. You're you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to solve whatever is going on. So then, let's say 2 days goes by. That's if you can even last that long. You shoot her a text. You tell her how you're feeling about her. You tell her this. So she probably replies because she's like, "Oh shit, this guy is back. He's so desperate." She replies, and then she's just like, "Oh, that's nice." Then you try and turn that around, and you say, "Hey, so let's link." You're happy she responded. In fact, you responded right as soon as she responded. You were holding on your phone. You were waiting all day. And then she's just like, she makes an excuse. What this shows is that you are desperate. You don't have a sense of confidence. And I know most of you guys can actually relate to this. Me personally, I can relate to that. If you tell me that, I'll be like, are you speaking about me? Because that's how I used to be in the conversation, in the topic, when it came about women, because I didn't understand that your mindset has to have a shift in order for you to have abundance with women. A lot of guys don't know how to deal with the tension. Now, my advice for that kind of scenario is, after you go on a date with a woman, I don't want you to message her as soon as possible. You know, a lot of women on the internet will be like, "Oh, you're playing games if you do all these kinds of things. You're playing games. Uh, just message me. I would like a guy who is honest in this." It's you don't have to message her. You know, what it shows when you message her is that you're desperate. You that's all that's on your mind. You know, what you should do when you go home after a date with a woman is actually go home and ask yourself questions. Do I like this girl? Do you can you see her in the long run being a part of your life? What are the qualities that you actually respect about her? What are the things you actually enjoy? This should be the time you should be thinking, and that time you're thinking, I don't want you to message her because she also needs the time to breathe. Women have this thing where they need this time to actually breathe and think about what's going on. Women really stress a lot and overthink. So the last thing you want to do is come in to her mind when she's thinking about if you're actually a good guy. She really needs the time to process it. A lot of the times, if you don't have anything super special about you, and that's majority of everybody's kind of just there. Most girls would take at least a day, to say, hey, I had a great time. Most, I'm not saying all girls. Some girls are outliers. They'll message you the same night and say thank you for the night. That's if you were smooth with it, and that's a whole nother video. I'll tell you guys how to actually be on a date and stuff. That's a different topic. But back to this scenario. After a date, a woman would normally message you and be like, hey, I had a good time. I appreciate you for doing this, so and so. I hope to see you soon. Just have a good night. And that's when I'd advise you to message back. If a woman messages you the same night and says that, yeah, you can message back. You can be like, yeah, I had a great night too. Hope to see you. Not even hope to see you soon. I'll see you soon. Have a great night. You have to show certainty. You have to show that you're direct. So back to what I'm saying is, a lot of guys after a date they rush right into it, so eager, they're so desperate, they want to hold on to this girl, they're so happy they finally got the opportunity. What this shows is you're desperate, bro. You don't have abundance in women. Women like a man who is valued. So when a woman starts to believe that you actually don't have abundance with other girls, she starts to fall back and pull back. It's a very weird thing. Women have this thing that they want their man to be valued by other women as well. They want their man. That's how they show. It's like a hierarchy thing. It's kind of weird, you know. And that's the thing. When a woman pulls back, it's not it's not the time for you to start chasing and rushing and trying to pull her back to you. That's the time you just chill. That's what I'm talking about when I say you guys need to know how to actually sit in the tension. A lot of you guys don't understand how to sit in the tension. When a woman is pulling, she's trying to observe how you would react. She's trying to observe you, the type of man you are. She's trying to really understand you. So what you should really do is just chill. Because I'll tell you this right now, you can never change a woman's mind. If she made her mind to not be with you and she doesn't like you, you are never going to change her mind unless you just automatically change levels. Your mindset changes and you're a whole completely different person. That's a different thing. But if you're the same guy from yesterday, you're not changing her. So you need to understand there's nothing you can do. And that's part of the thing with the statement called game, so and so quotation marks. That's the statement called game. Like, mostly the thing about game is understanding the things that are out of your control, you don't stress about. The things that are out of your control, you don't stress about. That would make you move with a type of confidence that women actually love to see in men. So once you understand that when she's in her pulling phase, you just chill. This has nothing to do with games, but it's more of like a psychological thing that goes on in a woman's mind. She does not want to be bombarded with a man. It makes you feel unreliant. It makes you look unsecure, and it makes you just look like a person she can't depend on. She wants a man who actually revolves around himself and he's chill. He looks codependent. He can take care of himself and he's reliant of himself. I know I'm ranting on that, but I can't stress this enough because this is where a lot of guys make this mistake. They pull back. They're chasing when when a woman is pulling, when they should really just be chilling, or pulling back, or they should just be doing their own thing. Pulling back means you go check out your other options. What's another thing I wrote down? Let me tell you guys right now. Seeking reassurance will completely obliterate every connection you have with that woman. If you're a type of guy who is always asking your girl, am I good enough? Am I the best you've ever had? You may be the best she has ever had, but then the questions you're asking her, she's going to realize that you're not as good as you perceive yourself as. And then she's going to realize, yeah, this guy is not really confident. This guy, yeah, he's not really my type anymore. Then that's where the ick, the statement, oh, I got the ick from, comes from. You guys got to be able to sit down in your own skin and be like, I am who I am and I don't care. Obviously take advice. Advice is what will push you to do better and achieve greater heights. But when you're just seeking reassurance every time, always asking, oh, is this good? Where should we go? What, you look like a boy. You look like a little girl. Like, you're not keeping a woman wet like that, bro. You got to be able to make decisions of your own. Be able to sit down in your own skin and be like, yeah, I'm comfortable with who I am. Believe in yourself a little bit more. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop seeking that reassurance, because you are going to completely obliterate every connection you have with a girl. It's like a fire. It's like you guys become a drunk firefighter, just using a fire extinguisher, removing every single ounce of spark in that relationship. So, like, you guys really got to cool your ass down and chill out, and that's one thing you guys need to understand. Back to what I was saying about, you can't fix everything. The thing with movies, the reason what keeps people glued to the seat is that it has stakes, it has uncertainty. That's the same thing with a woman. She wants to understand that you're not always going to be there. If she acts weird, she has to play her cards right. She has to be the person you want her to be in that relationship, and she also has to be herself at the same time. But what I mean by that is that she has to play her cards right. She has to follow and abide by the rules you set. That's why I spoke about boundaries and all those kinds of stuff. But you guys can go check out that old video. But what I'm trying to say is that that's what keeps people glued to a seat, because they don't know what's going to happen next. You want to keep a woman not knowing things. Women love the mysterious guys, That's all I really got to say for you guys. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Humble success. Hope y'all absorb this information. Y'all do whatever the hell you want with this information, but I advise you to take it and actually absorb it, because that's game, bro. That's game. I'll catch y'all later. Stay humble.